Hey guys, Upgraded Rotom here, and welcome to another season of the League of Extraordinary Trainers Draft League. Last season, we were able to make it all the way to the playoffs, but unfortunately lost in the first week of them. This season, I've drafted a versatile team that I believe can take us all the way to the championship. Without further ado, let me introduce ya. For this season, I wanted to make sure I had a strong foot in the speed tier, so for the first pick, I grabbed Deoxys Speed. Deoxys' stats are all around pretty great, with the only low one being its HP stat. However, its speed and its mixed attack will allow us for some great cleanup potential for any game we play, especially with its 140 base attack stab boosted Psycho Boost. That thing's gonna be hitting like a truck. With this form being the second fastest Pokemon in the draft, we can force our opponents to have to bring a Choice Scarf on their team so they don't fear being outsped. Deoxys, if need be, can also be played as a great support mon / hazard setter with moves such as Knockoff and Stealth Rocks. With the second pick of the draft, I decided to pick up Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt has amazing versatility with its solid bulk and its high special attack stat. Bolt, being a Paradox mon, also allows us to get some use out of Booster Energy item to further enhance one of those beneficial stats. Raging Bolt starts our Dragon Fairy Steel Core strong with its wall breaking and wall being capabilities. To further advance those capabilities, Raging Bolt is going to be our first Terra Captain for the season, which will allow us to shed our weaknesses for a more defensive type, or enhance our Thunderclaps like crazy. After grabbing our first captain, I wanted to grab something that I've personally wanted to use in draft since I started, but every time I normally get sniped on it. Third up on the team, we've got Hisuian Samurott. Samurott is going to play a very similar role to Kleavor last season, with it being able to set hazards while dealing damage. However, this time, instead of rocks, it's going to be spikes. Samurott is a great mon with it having potential to be a mixed attacker, so that'll allow me to better face whatever my opponent's weaknesses may be. Sharpness is also a fun ability to try out, as there are a few solid moves that Samurott gets that are boosted by it, like Razor Shell and Air Slash. At this point in my draft, I was realizing I had some major special defense issues, and needed something to patch that hole. So, in doing so, I picked up Fezandipiti. Fezandipiti has a solid typing and Fairy Poison, which will allow us to absorb toxic spikes as we are a grounded poison type. The Regal Bird also has some great abilities, being both Toxic Chain and Technician, with one letting us potentially toxic our opponent with any move we use, or the other boosting the damage of our less powerful ones. I've got some fun plans for this fella this season, so stay tuned and you'll see what's to come. While focusing on defense at this point, I decided to grab a VGC Classic in Incineroar. Now I'm going to assume that the majority of you know what this guy can do, but plain and simple, it's bulky and it hits hard. Now Draft does play very differently than VGC does, but that doesn't diminish Incineroar's utility at all. Parting Shot and U-Turn give me great momentum, and I can ignore defense boosts with Darkest Lariat. And Intimidate adds to our bulk when facing any physical attacker. The cherry on top, however, is that Incineroar is going to be our second Terra Captain for the season, and with every type to choose from, we can bring the pain from all over the type chart. Speed is the name of the game right now, and with that in mind, I went for Hawlucha. Hawlucha is going to be a great wall breaker and shenanigans mon with its high attack and speed stats, while paired with some awesome abilities like Unburden and Mold Breaker. One of the other things that's neat about Hawlucha is that it gets Defog, so with that we officially have our first hazard remover of the season. Now at this point, Defog had me thinking about removing hazards, and something I didn't have last season was a Rapid Spin blocker, so I wanted to grab a Ghost type. Originally, I wanted Decidueye, but that got sniped. However, I think I found a great, if not better replacement, being Sinistcha. Sinistcha, being a grass type, helps immensely with my growing ground weakness, and on top of it gets some great moves to play with, such as Machagacha and Scald. To further enhance what this terrifying teacup can do, I decided to make it our final Terra Captain of the season. With some fun sets that I have in mind that'll be disclosed at a later date, Sinistcha is going to have to be a threat that every opponent will think about. As we were reaching the end of the draft, I still had to try and overcome a growing ground weakness, and who better to do that than Bronzong. Bronzong has amazing defenses in both of its defense stats, and a surprisingly good attack stat as well. Bronzong can also provide us with some great utility with stuff like screens or even random crap like Sunny Day and Rain Dance. For this season though, Bronzong's main role will be to play as a bulky support. Okay guys, I'll be 100% honest with you, I have no idea what a Lowland Trio can do. saw that it had an amazing typing that I was looking for, that it was fast and it could hit hard, has some access to hazards, but past that, I don't have any experience with this guy. Although I don't have any experience with it, I'm not saying this trio isn't going into a battle. I recognize that it can have its niches, and so this season will be a journey together to find them and take full advantage of them. Who knows, maybe this guy will even be our MVP. Last but not least on this list, we got another hazard remover because I realized I didn't have much, and we have Furret. Furret, I'm telling you, is going to be the kill leader this season. You don't understand, this little guy's a monster. I mean, just look at that face. In all seriousness though, Tidy Up is a great move, which is essentially a dragon dance that also gets rid of hazards. With Furret being a normal type, it also gets a pretty wide move coverage. And the best thing about it is that it gets the ability Frisk, so whenever I send this guy into battle, I will know what item my opponent has, and information is key in draft. And that's going to be our team for Season 13 of the LET Pokemon Draft League. If you guys like the team, tell me all about it down in the comments below, and don't forget to stay tuned for our next upcoming battle. Peace.